Hello and welcome to another Fabula Ultima video. This is the Treasure Seeker, a character idea and guide by Fabula Points. Me. When I first created this series, I did it with this character matrix in mind, where I took like all the classes from each classic character and made a matrix so I could pick characters that didn't have any of the combinations. But I'm going against my own kind of thoughts right now because this first one, the Alchemist, uses Tinkerer and Wayfarer and I've thought of a much cooler way to use it. So I'm using it again, but none of the skills match to make it my own. And so this is the Treasure Seeker. So I'm going to show you what skills I use now. So jumping into the character sheet, we are going to say Treasure Seeker. Pronouns, I'm going to use they, them, just because I haven't before. Identity, we'll call him a museum curator. So I'm imagining like kind of like a patron of the arts kind of thing, who's like joining and hiring a team to like kind of help like fund adventurers so that he can have like pieces for his museum or something. So theme will be discovery. It's a pretty nice one. Origin will say is the child of noble art collectors. Just to have a more interesting origin than I've done before. Fabula point. So bonds, like I've said in all of my videos, we don't start with bonds, they happen during play. So we have done right now. Fabula points, everyone starts with 3. Experience points, everyone starts with 0. Now, equipment. Um, this is an interesting one because we're not actually going to be able to equip like martial weapons or most armor, being completely honest. So if I go into here, we're going to pick the crossbow. Let's move this across. We're going to pick the crossbow for item, mostly because while it's a ranged weapon, it's not a martial ranged weapon. So like the pistol has the martial kind of symbol on it. So we can pick the crossbow without having any proficiency in stuff. So crossbow is dex and ins, physical, and we need a. Actually, first before I do that, keep running. Crossbow is 150 zenith, so we start with 500, so that leaves us with 350. Let's go for armor. I like the travel garb. I think it makes sense for the kind of character we are. So we'll go copy that, and our initiative will be -1. And travel garb is 100, so we have 250, which is going to be very, very useful in a minute. So let's go over to our stats and then fill them back in. One of the things I've mentioned in my videos before is I always wanted to make a character which had straight stats. So this is going to be my D8 character. He's not going to be, or they, sorry, not going to be good at combat. I'm just going to put it out there. We can get good at combat later, but we're starting off without any combat skills. But the exploration skills we get are going to be awesome. So our defense is dex die +1, which is 9. Magic defense is also 9. So that's kind of basic, but we're not built for combat, we are built for other things. So, character level 5, onto the classes. So I've gone for the Wayfarer and the Tinkerer. So let's bring some of them up now. So let's go to Wayfarer. No, let's go Tinkerer first because Tinkerer is earlier in the alphabet. I haven't covered the Tinkerer yet, I will do eventually. Tinkerer, let's sort my caps lock. And we are going to take 2 points in Tinkerer. The free benefits of the Tinkerer are IP points +2. Well, I say IP by 2 because the P stands for points. And projects. That's the big one. So we're already at 8 inventory points. So we are going to take 2 skills in Visionary right off the bat. So we'll say 200Z cheaper projects plus extra 2 progress a day. So when we initiate a project, I'll go through projects in a second. It's going to be 200 Zenit cheaper because we have 2 skills in it right at the start. So like a 300 Zenit project will only cost us 100 of materials. And say if it takes 6 days, then we get 1 day for working on it anyway, an extra 2 because of visionary, and something that would normally take 6 days will now take 2. And projects are going to be our friend. We're going to use them to get vehicles to be able to travel faster, to do more traveling when we synergize with the Wayfarer. So let me quickly scroll to Wayfarer. Wayfarer. So we're going to take 3 levels in Wayfarer. The 3 benefits are IP +2, which is awesome. So this is our 10 IP character. And we're going to take Treasure Hunter, 2 in that. And so that gives us discovery on a travel roll of 3 or less. So travel roll, I'll show in a second again. You roll a dice. Normally on a 1, you get a positive outcome, and anything then on a 4 or higher, you get a bad outcome. Or is it 6 or higher? I'll double check. And then with this, we're getting a positive outcome on a 1, 2, or 3, which means if we have a travel roll that's a d6, we're getting a positive outcome in that 50% of the time, which is amazing. And then this also synergizes well with well-traveled. So dice for travel roll is 1 size lower to a d6 min. So all this talk of travel rolls, let's just jump straight into the rules for it so you can understand like what I've done and why. So why aren't you loading? Journey and traveling. So when you are traveling anywhere, you roll a travel roll, and on a 6 or higher, group encounters danger. On a 1, the group makes an unexpected discovery, and the discoveries are always positive. So when we're in villages, cities, and guarded areas, we'd roll a d6. When we're in prairies, patrolled roads, or countryside, we'd normally roll a d8, but thanks to well-traveled, we now roll a d6. So in these 2 areas, we have a 50% chance of getting a positive outcome, and then a 1 in 6 of getting a bad outcome. So we're constantly finding good things. We're not always going to find treasure, but this is going to make treasure hunting significantly easier because we're able to find more positive things more often. And if we go here, past dangers, discovery is always a good thing. So the examples they give: an entrance to an ancient ruins, a merchant caravan, a group of helpful creatures, a secluded village or safe haven, or a precious item, which is what we want, or piece of information. So this will enable the team to be able to discover more good things, and then as long as the team can help you in combat, because we're very rubbish in combat, then we'll be able to get more items and more treasures for the group, and then hopefully power people up more is the idea. So that's traveling. So let's go back a step and talk about projects. So the thing we want to start with and the project we want to get from the start technically isn't a project. So you have to speak to your DM about this. But if I was a DM, I would be okay with this. So we're looking at getting new items, and there are services and transports, and the one we want is this terrestrial vehicle. So basically what this will be a horse-drawn cart, essentially. So it costs 600 Zenit, and the cost of this includes like the animals you're drawing it with. So to be able to, so like, or my thinking at least anyway, is we'd want a project to build the terrestrial vehicle ourselves, which I would call 500 zenith and then spend 100 zenith on horses, say, for example. So it still costs the same as if you're buying it, but you're just making it. And I don't see why a DM wouldn't let you do that. So thanks to our Tinkerer, this will bring the cost down to 400. And thanks to our funds, we have 250. So it means we only need to secure 150 worth of funds to be able to get a vehicle that holds the whole party, which means we can travel further distances faster right from the start of the game, which is awesome. Like, your party might be willing to chip in some funds. You'll get more funds anyway because we roll dice for in character creation to get funds. But if we can get this terrestrial vehicle, then we can make travel easier, safer, and because we travel a lot and our dice rolls are lower and we're getting discoveries on a roll of three or less, then we can discover good things more often, which is how I'm building this. And then to go further from this, we can obviously go into Tinkerer to think if we want to build more things, or we can like dig into Wayfarer. Let's look at the other Wayfarer skills a second, because I want to show you. Where are we? So things like Tavern Talk would be good here, like to grow into, because we can ask questions about the surroundings and people who live here. So we can ask about like not necessarily ancient treasure, but you can ask around the folklore and see if there's any kind of things like that to get a better idea of what treasures might be around, and then you can obviously leave the area if you don't like it or search anyway. But yeah, or because we don't have any combat skills, you can dip into something with like some combat ability. Probably like something like a rogue, because like you're kind of squishy and not really doing much, and you might want like to kind of lean into that a bit. But yeah, we haven't done health or MP. So all our stats are 8. So health is might, which is 8 times 5, which is 40, plus level, which is 5, plus other, which we don't have. So 45, and that would make the crisis 22. I think we round down. And then MP is also going to be 45. And then inventory is 10. Cool. So let's make sure we've got everything. So we have our name and everything. We don't have any bonds. We've got Fabula points, experience points. We've got equipment. We've got Zenit. We don't have any proficiencies in stuff. We've got all of our stats. We've got our dice. We don't have any Arcana and skills or other classes. So yeah, that's us done. So this isn't going to be for everyone. Lots of people play like TTRPGs to like for the combat, or not necessarily just for the combat, but a lot of people build characters with combat in mind. So it's nice to kind of try and think about a character that isn't combat focused, but is helping the party in a lot of ways very quickly early on. So yeah, that is my Treasure Seeker. So thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.